The following is a production of Gearhead Media. All right, welcome back to another episode of the All Automotive Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Clausen, and it's Season 3. Boy, I'm so glad to be back. Hopefully everyone had a great holiday season. I know I did. It was busy, it was cold, it was okay, weather-wise, anyway. Holidays were great. Hope yours were good, too. We welcome you back to the third season of the All Automotive Podcast, and I am very thankful for everybody every month. So we got some good things coming up in Season 3. We're going to do a segment called Ask Matt. So if you've got questions, I've got answers. I've got lots of answers. We're going to do that. We're also going to be doing some interviews. I got some good interviews lined up this year. So we got some good stuff coming for Season 3 of the All Automotive Podcast, and I am so glad that you are all here. But today I wanted to talk about last year. Do we want to know how good the cars were for last year? And what the top 25 were? Now, I tripped across this article from Car and Driver. I get their magazine at the shop, you know. It comes in and I flip through it. Anyway, this article kind of popped up on my phone, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Maybe we should talk about this. And we are. So, in the next few minutes, or however long it takes, we're going to go over what Car and Driver thinks and my reaction to the top 25 cars, best-selling trucks, SUVs of 2023. You know, and when I landed on this article, there is 3 cars on the front, and the one that's in the foreground, hey, you know, it couldn't be any better than a Chevy Silverado. I mean, come on. I might be partial. I have a Silverado, so anyway, it's in the list somewhere. Let's just see how far up, you know, Matt's car rides. And then there's a Tesla and also a Honda. Looks like a Pilot in the background. So anyway, number 25, coming in at number 25, the Ford Escape. The redesigned Ford Escape looks a little bit better than the ones they made previous. Ford is kind of doing pretty well with this platform. You know, they've got the Bronco as well, and then the Maverick. So these mid-sized little Ford SUVs are doing really well for Ford, and I'm happy for them in that regard. So number 25, the Ford Escape, over 140,000 units sold in America. They've got this version, and they've got a plug-in hybrid version. Of course, they've got their EcoBoost. Good deal. That's a good vehicle. I'm good with that. So number 24, the Subaru Forester, just a little over 152,000 units sold. You know, Subaru, they make a very solid vehicle. And as far as safety-wise goes, you know, they're the pioneers of that forward collision warning and stepping on the brakes, you know, where it brakes for you if someone's in the road or somebody swerves into your lane, it'll actually apply the brakes. You know, this my Silverado has that, and somebody swerved in front of me, and it was really interesting. It was, you know, there's these big red, hey, somebody's in front of you, and it starts putting the brakes on. I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Anyway, it wasn't that close. You know, that truck's my baby. You know, babe number 3 is my baby. So, you know, we don't hot rod old babe number 3. Not yet. Anyways. So yeah, the Subaru Forester, and this is the you know, that's their typical Subaru looking vehicle. It looks pretty good. Again, you know, they've done really well with that 4-cylinder that they've got. You know, their drivetrains are really good. You know, we don't really see too many of those at the shop. You know, there's not a Subaru dealer in our town, But, hey, we live in a smaller town in Michigan, so it's not the, most common thing. I mean, if we were in Ann Arbor, it'd probably be see them all the time. However, we do have some customers, and they love them. So coming in at number 23, the Mazda CX-5. There's 153,808 units sold, according to their article. And again, another little crossover, kind of, to me, looks a lot like the Ford Escape, Chevy Equinox kind of stuff. Again, these are really, really sturdy vehicles. Mazda makes a pretty good vehicle too. And they're in a market that's kind of flooded to me, because every car line's got a midsize SUV. And, for me, and then what it boils down to when you're shopping for one of these vehicles, to me, is, it's the options. And then outside of that, it's how it drives and how longevity and the initial quality and what it's going to do after you buy it, after the warranty, after the 36,000 miles. Is it going to be a problem child, or am I just going to be leasing it for 39 months and I really don't care too much to worry about that kind of stuff because I'm not going to keep the vehicle? So, again, Mazda coming in at number 23, the CX-5. Number 22 is a Jeep Wrangler. What do you know? And it's the four-door version of that on the picture there. And I believe sales were down a little bit on this platform from the previous year. And they kind of refreshed the 2024 model to look a little sleeker. It's a little more rounded. It's got lights in a little different areas, But the Jeepers, man, they love the Jeeps, man. It's a cult following. It's kind of like me with, the Chevy Silverado or Chevys, guilty. I worked at a Chevrolet dealer for 12, 14 years. And, that kind of is stamped on my brain or something. I don't know. Anyway, the Jeep Wrangler coming in at number 22. The four-door vehicles that they've got, very sturdy. It uses the Pentastar 3.6 liter. I haven't seen too many issues with those. Those have a common issue, but I think they kind of got that shored up inside the engine area. But hey, any manufacturer is going to have some certain issues with certain things, and I kind of commend Stellantis or Jeep and Chrysler for stepping up and trying to make things better, obviously. And it does look really cool. I don't know if you have seen the refreshed 2024 model, and if you're a Jeepers Creepers, if you're a Jeeper, then you've probably seen this one already. And if you've got an older one, hey, this one kind of looks kind of cool. Got the turn signals in the fenders, and the hood still latches on the outside, and it's got mirrors that are a little bit bigger, tires that are looking good. So moving along, number 21, we got Subaru Crosstrek. Again, another Subaru, lots of safety features, lane assist. Subarus have the cruise, adaptive cruise, so that, it's got a forward camera, so it's going to see the cars in front of you and adapt to where you're going. There's 160,000 of those units sold in America. The Subaru Outback coming in at number 20. And we'll kind of skim right through these because, they make a good vehicle. I mean, what have we said? 3 of them already so far? So now the Outback, another solid vehicle as far as maintenance and so forth is concerned. It's like you keep it up, it's going to, you take care of it, it's going to take care of you. That's basically how I see that. And then breaking into the top 20, at number 19, the first Toyota, the Highlander. Now, this is the larger one, the larger of the Toyota SUVs. And this one's 3-row. And, so this one's along the lines of the Chevy Traverse or the Acadia or the Enclave as far as Buick, as the GM ones are concerned. So that gives you that option for that third seat. So you can get 2, 4, 6, 7 adults in there if you've got the center middle seat. But if you got captain's chairs, you're 2, 4, 6, because that back seat, I'm guessing that, 2 people about my size is about all you want back there, really. But another good vehicle, Toyota's, again, they make a solid vehicle, and it's up to you. Like I say, you're looking for something that's got options, and you've been a Toyota person before, and this is a good one to go to. So keep that in mind when you're shopping for that upper level SUV, the larger one, where you're trying to get more of those kiddos in the car, and you're not wanting to drive a van or a Pacifica.
We will be back after a short break.
Hey everybody, Matt here. Wanted to take a minute to talk about our main sponsor, GeForce Automotive. Did you know that they're a certified service center through Auto Value? What does that get you, you say? Well, that gets you 3 years or 36,000-mile warranty on select repairs. Want to know more about that? Visit their website at www.geforceautomotive.net. Click on that banner that says Make an Appointment, and make your appointment today. We're proud to have them on board as the main sponsor of the All Automotive podcast. So now let's get back to it. More of the All Automotive podcast. And then number 18, going back to the old blue oval, Ford. The Ford Explorer, almost 187,000 units sold. Explorer has been a decent vehicle, and Ford's just done a pretty good job with changing the looks and keeping it fresh. And this is another one that's along the lines of that larger size SUV, not one of the smaller ones, not the little tiny ones, but it's above the Escape, so you're looking for a little bit more room. This is the vehicle you should go to if you're a Ford person. So first Honda of the list, coming in at number 17, the Honda Accord, almost 200,000 units sold. Now, Honda Accords are made in Marysville, Ohio, and it keeps a lot of Americans employed. So keep that in mind if that's something that's it's a foreign car, but it's all made right here. But they do make them in other places. But it got a little bit of a redesign. I kind of was liking the 2010, 11, 12, 13, Accords. But hey, daughter drives a 2004 Honda Accord with over 250 some thousand miles on it. So I'm not partial to American cars when some of these foreign cars, and I'm a Honda motorcycle guy, but Honda does make a very good vehicle as well. So 16, keeping it in the Honda court, the Honda Civic beat out its Accord by almost 500,000. Oh, no, almost 500 units. So at 200,000, 381 is what Car and Driver says as far as sold. So, Honda had more inventory in last year than they did in 2022. And, a lot of these manufacturers are starting to get back to full speed with the supply chain and stuff. So we've had our issues as far as parts, trying to get parts for these cars over the last couple of years since the, 2020 COVID-19. That put a lot of problems in place that, there's still issues from that. So number 16 was the Honda Civic. So moving up into the top 15, or coming in at number 15, the Hyundai Tucson with almost 210,000 units sold. Got a little redesign in the front. I'm not a huge fan of Hyundai or Kia, but again, this is another 2-row midsize, smaller to me SUV than, if you're looking smaller than this, it would be the Sorento or its counterpart in Kia is the Sorento. But the Tucson kind of looks cool with those, LED lights in the front and the look of it. You can certainly tell that it's a Korean vehicle simply because of the way, the styling cues and so forth like that. It does look pretty cool. So coming in at number 15, the Hyundai Tucson. And then number 14 is the Chevy Equinox. Now, the Chevy Equinox got a pretty decent exterior overhaul, I want to say, because it has come a long way in as far as the front end and the way it looks. And GM's doing some pretty cool things with the front end of their SUVs as far as the Traverse and the Equinox. Now, the Equinox has an RS version similar to the Chevy Blazer. Wife got a new, Danny, she got a new 2024 Chevy Blazer. And this thing is really cool. I don't know if you're a smaller, she wanted to go down in size. We didn't really need a Traverse with 3-row anymore. We just needed, I hate to use the term, but she kind of just needed something to get back and forth to work and get some groceries and carry me and her and, our two, if we need to, somewhere. But it was, it was nice. It's been a little challenging not having that third seat, because a lot of times we would go and get her dad and sister or whatever, and we need that third seat to get, somebody has to sit back there because we're, there's 6 of us, and it's like, we can't we can't all fit. So we can all fit in the Silverado though. So anyways. So number 14, the Chevy Equinox, go check that out. They got an RS version of that. Looks really sharp. The black wheels, the black bow tie, the black mirrors. Kind of looks like Babe 3.0, but it's the wrong color. All right, coming in at number 13, the Toyota Corolla with 232,000 units sold. And, it's up a little bit from last year, about 5% according to the article over 2022. And, maybe it's got a lot to do with the semiconductors and the supply chain stuff. And it's funny how it all boils down to one thing. And the automotive industry is not unlike any other where, we're needing of chips, microchips for these computers and modules and all that stuff that we have to diagnose and repair all the time. So anyway, number 13, the Toyota Corolla, Toyota's little small entry-level vehicle. Good little car. Number 12, the first electric vehicle, the Tesla Model 3 with 232,000 units sold. And this is estimated because, Elon, he just doesn't want anybody to know. Anyway, no. Coming in at number 12, Tesla, the Model 3, fully electric. They got downloadable upgrades. There's companies out there that will teach you how to use all these features, and they're called Tesla Concierge or something like that. I believe if you check out Zach Hurst and his EV Resource podcast, he interviewed a guy, and that's their purpose in life, is to have individuals which will come and teach you how to do everything on a Tesla, whether it's how to download upgrades or whatever. But that's pretty cool. So coming in at number 12, the Tesla Model 3. And then here we go. The first truck, number 11, the Toyota Tacoma, 234,000, just about 235,000 units sold. Although sales were down a little bit, like 1% according to this article. Toyota continues to refine and make this little Tacoma, their entry-level truck, better and better. I don't know if you've seen the Chevy Colorado, but man, they did a really good overhaul on that thing. Wow. So check that out too. But Toyota Tacoma coming in at number 11, comes in a crew cab, extra cab. Again, Toyota solid vehicles from Toyota, as you would expect. With that manufacturer, but coming in at just missing number 10 at number 11, the Toyota Tacoma. So now we're back to the top 10. Entering the top 10, the Jeep Grand Cherokee. And boy, did this thing get a little bit of an overhaul. looks kind of cool on the outside. They did the redesign in the front. They've got new upgrades as far as the drivetrain and the ride ability. Another mid-size SUV. You know, Stellantis has taken some pretty big steps with the Jeep in keeping it in everyone's driveway, and they're doing a really good job. So coming in at number 10, the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Number 9, the Nissan Rogue with almost 272,000 sold. You know, Nissan struggled a little bit as far as I'm concerned, as far as their drivetrain. We've had some issues with, you know, seeing their continuous variable transmission, or CVT for short. They've had some issues with the durability as far as those are concerned. And that's across all of their models, cars and SUVs, the smaller ones anyway. And anything front-wheel drive is going to have that continuous variable transmission in it. So I'm not liking that number 9 pick, but, you know, I think Car and Driver's kind of basing it off of car sales. So I guess number 9, there's a lot of them sold. Don't know. Might have some problems. I'm not sure. Anyway, Nissan, it's a good-looking vehicle. Again, it falls into that mid-size SUV, so it's the Rogue, so it fits around. It's about the same size as the Equinox or the Ford Escape, and you have similar ability to get as many people in it as those vehicles. So number 9, the Nissan Rogue. Coming in at number 8, the Toyota Camry. You know, this is Toyota's mainstay, and again, I had the opportunity a year or so ago when we went to Florida to get a rental car, and, you know, rental cars, you know, come on. But this was a Toyota Camry, and I was just like, wow, this thing's pretty cool. Got tab shift, adaptive cruise, my phone connected to it relatively easily. We didn't have, you know, I was impressed. I mean, as far as rental cars go, you know, it's a crapshoot because, you know, everyone is not very friendly to their rental car, but this one was really good. You know, so coming in at number 8 with 290,649 units sold, the Toyota Camry. Now number 7, the full-size GMC Sierra with 295,737 units sold. So write that down, folks. Almost 300,000 units of GMC Sierra. So it's General Motors' GMC's version of the full-size pickup, available with their TurboMax V6. So they're going along the same lines as Ford with the EcoBoost. So their turbo and their V6s. Also available with an EcoDiesel. And then it's also available with the 5.3-liter V8 and an optional 6.2 V8 engine. So good stuff. You know, it's obviously the twin to the Chevy Silverado. The sales went up 22% as far as the year prior. And really, you know, just few little styling cues, switchovers. I mean, it's very similar from the 20, when did they switch them? In 2019. They couldn't wait until 2020. They've been chasing Dodge and Ford, I think, as far as trying to get their new trucks out. And it's just you know, when we worked at the dealership, it was kind of funny when they brought out when the all new Silverado came out, and it was 1999. And we were just thinking, man, if they had just waited one more year to 2000, the all new 2000 Chevrolet Silverado, starting out a new millennium with one of the best trucks on the market back in that time. But I think rushing it to the table, they would, if they had it to do over again, I would think, in my opinion, they rushed the all new Silverado in 1999. And you notice that if you are a fan of that era of trucks and so forth, we didn't see the heavy duty Silverado until 2001. So they finally decided, hey, we kind of rushed the light duty. Maybe we should take our time, and you know, that's when the Duramax and the Allison and the 11.5 differential and the big brakes, and it's just a beast that those were. Anyway, number 7, the GMC Sierra, So coming in at number 6, right before the top 5, a Honda CR-V with 361,457 units sold. Sales were up by almost half. It says over half. Sales were up 52% in 2023, but it still finished behind the RAV4, and I guess we're foreshadowing with that. Again, another solid Honda. It's got a lot of styling cues from the older Pilot. The CR-V, they just make them good. I've got some friends that work at a Honda dealer, and, they're just good vehicles. Those guys stay busy with their maintenance work, and, Honda does a really good job. So number 6, the Honda CR-V. And then another fully electric vehicle. Guess who? Tesla, the Model Y, over 385, almost 386,000 units sold. Again, estimated numbers. Elon Musk, which holds the cards close to the vest. What can you say? The Model Y, huge year for it. And as far as Tesla is concerned, they've got it figured out for sure. So if you're an EV enthusiast and you like EVs, definitely Tesla should be at the top of your list. So coming in at number 4, the Toyota RAV4, as mentioned before, beat out the Honda CR-V by several thousand units, it looks like. Yeah, almost 50,000. So 434, almost 435,000 units sold. The Toyota RAV4 continues to increase its sales year after year, almost a 10% increase over the prior year of 2022. So a lot of car makers have had just wonderful years because of all the parts that are now available again, and we can get cars back on the lots, and people can go to showrooms, and we're out there doing what we used to do. So, and I'm glad for that. Definitely glad for that. So the RAV4 is number 4 on the car and driver list. So top 3, full size Ram 1500. It's a good looking truck. I mean, the last couple of years, and Dodge specifically has, if you're a sport car enthusiast, or you like to have some acceleration behind your internal combustion engine, then you want to definitely look at the SRTs and the Hellcats and the 1320s, and so definitely some of this technology is spilling over into the Ram pickup, and we have a couple of different customers that have got these. They're really nice. I'm not a real huge fan of the dial type shifter that they have. I mean, I don't know that that's very truck-like to me. I don't know. I've had a hard time with that since they just developed that. Chrysler and Ram and Stellantis, I guess, if you want to say that. It's just a personal preference of mine. My truck's got a shifter, and it's not even mechanical. It's just telling it what gear to go in, and it's difficult for me to put into words exactly why I don't really care for that. But I don't know. It's something that obviously has grown on me a little bit, but I can't talk too much because my pickup truck my new one has got the center console shifter, and you push a button to put it into park, and it's all electric, folks. I mean, there's no mechanical cable that's pulling on linkage, and, so they're eliminating parts and making it electrical. And so number 3, the Ram 1500. Coming in at number 2, the Chevy Silverado. And this one that's on this picture looks a lot like old babe number 3, but we didn't go with the chrome. We went with the blackout stuff. It looks kind of cool. Every manufacturer has their issues, and I'm not seeing very many out of the Chevy Silverado. A couple of styling cue changes from the prior year. They moved the bow tie from the center of the grille up. They've created the dual illuminated horseshoes, which are the daytime running lights, which are turn into the turn signals. The turn signals will illuminate yellow, obviously. So they've deleted some parts as far as the working turn signals, as far as the 19s and 20s. and 21s. And then the whole interior got a nice overhaul. The dash is different. It's all digital, and the interface as far as the radio and so forth is concerned is primarily Google based, but it does work with your Apple CarPlay, because I have an Apple iPhone, so CarPlay is available on that. The difference between the Silverado and the Ram is that the Ram has their screen, I want to say, is like north-south, so it's longer upwards and downwards, to where the Silverado is more wide left to right. So, and the cool thing about it is there's like, let's just say it's in thirds. 2/3 of it is your radio or whatever you were listening to, or say you're listening to the All Automotive podcast. My logo and so forth will be up there, and then you can also, on this far third, have the nav running, and it's got all these other features. You can get adaptive cruise. It's got the forward collision warning, as I mentioned earlier. It's got lane keep assist, which it recognizes the lines on the road, and then if you're fading to one side, it'll actually turn you back into the lane. So that's kind of cool. And especially, if you're driving down the highway and you're involved with a conversation with your friend or your wife or whatever, and it's just helpful. It keeps you there, and it's got a little light up on there, and then the forward collision warning lets you know if you're too close to the car in front of you. And you can set that. You can set the distance too. And if it's got adaptive cruise, you're obviously setting that distance. So if that car slows down, you slow down too, unless you change lanes, and then your cruise will go back to where you were. If there's no car in front of you, then it's going to keep you at that particular speed. So number 2, the Chevy Silverado with 543,319. It'd be 18 if I didn't buy my truck. So add one more. And there we go. And coming in at number 1, oh my gosh, the blue oval does it for sure. The Ford F-150, the Ford F-Series, with 750,789 units sold. So let's just see. So if we add together 543, and we go back to the GMC Sierra with 300,000 and 540, that's 800 and some thousand. So, the GM trucks are the most popular trucks. So, to all my Ford friends, you win technically. So the Ford F-150 F-Series, what can you say? This truck has been tried and true, just like the Chevy Silverado at number 2. Hey, you can't go wrong. Ford's been doing it for so many years, and they've been at the top of the list as far as trucks for so many years, just over and over and over and over and over and over again. And, it's one of the most popular things that comes through our door too. There's a lot of them out there, so we do have the opportunity to work on a lot of them. So, and 20, what do they say? What's this article say? 25,000 of those is the electric ones, the Lightnings. So, I don't know. That might go down this year simply because, a lot of the manufacturers are trying to figure out the landscape as far as what's going on as far as electric vehicles are concerned. But, hey, Ford does a pretty good job. Still got a V8 available. Still have some pretty tried and true 2 turbo V6s, and I think they put a 4-cylinder in this thing, folks. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that they do. Just like the Silverado, they got a turbo V6. Well, there you have it. The top 25 selling vehicles of 2023, according to Car and Driver, and it has reported by the auto manufacturers. So again, come on, full-size trucks, 1, 2, 3, really? Who'd have thought? So I'm contributing to that top 3. Are you? All right, that's going to do it for another episode of the All Automotive Podcast. Did anybody see that coming? The top 3 vehicles of 2023 being trucks? I sure didn't. I also wanted to take a second to let you know that we're now available on YouTube and YouTube Music. So check us out over there. I'm Matt Clausen. Until next time, hey, keep that greasy side down.